yeah.
Yeah? Oh, I could not hear a thing
You
on
did
my...
not hear that?
No.
Oh, no.
What about my...
The dash.
All right. Hey guys, welcome back to Gaslight and Giggles. I'm Zuff, that's Stickie. So, first topic of the week. Do you want to run it or me?
You go ahead. You sound like you're excited.
Okay, so I do have something. So you know how I said I wanted to have like a gaslighter of the week kind of topic, right?
Yeah.
Well, I've been watching some Netflix, and have you seen Love Is Blind?
No, actually.
Oh my god. Okay. So Love Is Blind, if I can summarize it, is effectively Discord dating, where you can't see the person's face. They're like they're in these two pods, right? There's a wall in between them. You can't see each other,
Yeah.
and there's like 16 like single people, and they basically spend a week trying to get to know each other. But because they can't see each other, they can only talk about shit, and they're not allowed to really describe what they look like.
Oh, so it's like if you're gonna fall in love, you fall in love for who they are.
Yeah. But when I'm watching it, I'm like, these people are already falling in love with these people within like 6 days.
Yeah.
Right? This is if you believe it. Like if you don't think they're like paid actors, kind of bullshit stuff, right? And so that's why I'm like, is it basically Discord dating? So I finished season 3 like last week, and they were kind of doing like at the end of the season, they do like a show recap. They meet the couples, the ones who lasted, the ones who didn't, and they like they set up this nice, really confrontational thing where they like talk about really shitty moments from the season, right?
Yeah.
So there's this couple from season 3 called Cole and Zanab. And a lot of people, I remember when the first season 3 first came out, there was like all this news about like Cole being this gaslighter, right? And like the editing throughout the show shows him kind of like, he might say some comments, but they're not really that offhand. It's just like because they like fall in love before they see each other, and then they have to make a decision to like propose to that person at the end of the week or a person.
Yeah.
And then they meet each other. So a lot of the time they're like, they're not what I traditionally would have gone for. Like none of these people are bad looking people. I want to put this out there.
Yeah.
This show doesn't choose any ugly people.
Okay.
All right. So
they're all attractive to a certain
all like,
point.
Yeah, exactly. It's just like everyone's got their type, right? So this guy's just like, she's not really my type. I'm not used to it. And then like the show does this really fucked up thing where, because these people have probably grown attached to more than one person. They'll have like this after these people have met one-on-one, like 24 hours later, they do this like co-mingling event. And then they get to like see all the other people that they might have been into and end up chatting and having little sneaky conversations and da-da-da-da. So it gets to the end of season 3. They're doing this recap. And a lot of people have just this fucking vitriol towards Cole. Like he's the worst person in the world. And like they got to the altar. He said yes. She said no. Right? And she's like, I'm saying no because I've never had anyone shoot down my like sense of self and self-worth. Anyone like you have. Da-da-da-da-da. You're a piece of shit, effectively. Walks off, gets a clap. And he was just like standing there like really confused because he's just like, everything yesterday was like all sweet. Like they had little tiffs throughout. But most of the tiffs, from what I could see, was her having issues with like fucking minor things and becoming a big thing. So like, it just looks like she's a very emotional person, and he doesn't know how to handle it sometimes. So he'll sort of ask her like, "What the fuck do you want me to do?" type of thing. Like we've been through this, you've brought it up again, type of thing. Like we've dealt with it, moved past it, but she can't. And she also has this thing where like something will happen and her memory of it is
different.
So different. It's like, he called me a piece of shit. He said I was fat, that I'm not like wedding ready, da-da-da-da-da. But he's just like, I didn't think you would like to eat that kind of thing. Like, as in more so like you've told me in the past that you don't like to eat that type of food. Why are you eating it now? Type of thing, you know. There's this really contentious moment apparently where it's like a tangerine moment. I don't know why they call it a tangerine moment, but well, I do know. But they were about to go out to dinner. They were having a chat, really casual, about meeting each other's families, and then it gets to the point they're like, oh, you know, we're talking about going and meeting her family over in London or some shit.
Yeah.
And it's super casual, like really friendly. And then she's going and eating these like pepitas or something, and he's having some too. And then she's going to grab like these 2 mandarins, or whatever, and she's starting to eat them. And he goes, "Oh, you're gonna eat like both the mandarins?" And she's like, "Yeah." And then I'll probably have a banana. He's like, "Why? We're about to go out to dinner, and we're gonna have like an all-you-can-eat feast. Like,
oh yeah, why do you want to eat more?
Yeah, you might as well just like save your thing." And I think she said something along the lines of like, "I don't want to eat too much when I'm out or something." And he goes, "Oh, I guess you know, like, are you trying to get like wedding ready or whatever?" But like, not in a way that it was like accusatory. Mostly like, I'm trying to understand where you're coming from for not or eating now but not eating later. When it comes to the end of the show, she's telling the story like, he called me fat. He said my body is not wedding ready. You know, he's telling me to not eat this food. He's trying to restrict my food and restrict my diet.
Oh.
Like, it's like, and then
it's like but it's on camera.
Yeah. And well, the thing is, they didn't show it throughout the season, right? So, and she's gone back and told all the girls like, you know, this is what he's like. He's a piece of shit. Fuck you, kind of thing. And he's like, it never happened like that. And he goes, if you have the fucking footage, roll the fucking tape. And so they rolled the tape after that episode so people could make up their own minds. And you're like, oh, this chick is crazy. Like,
oh my God. And manipulation.
Here's the thing. Like, yeah, this is what I mean. Like, she was like gaslighting him, right? Because he goes throughout the season. At one point, he goes, are you like bipolar or something? Because like, it's very hot and cold. You get angry really quickly. She goes, "What do you mean? Am I bipolar? Like, fuck you. Like, why? How could you say that?" After the season is finished, she goes, "Oh, I've been seeing a therapist and has put a lot of things into light. I shouldn't have acted. But then still goes, nah, he was wrong for like doing that." I was like, "Excuse me. So you're telling me
oh my God.
you realized that you're a shitty person and you went and saw a therapist and you made him feel like shit in front of his family, told everyone that he was an abusive partner, and then he's the problem." Okay. Okay. Fuck me, dude. I was just like, it felt a little bit like...
If it wasn't taped, no one would have known, hey?
Well, 100%. They would have been like, this guy's like abusive, had him on the show. He effectively got cancelled, right? And like, it's very like girl power. It's, oh my God, you're so brave for like speaking out about it. But if you actually like look at it, it's she's very manipulative, doesn't really know what she wants, might be actually bipolar, definitely needed therapy,
definitely narcissism as well.
Well, I don't know if it's narcissism or a really bad self-image. So everything that gets said, even if there's like one little rice grain of negativity in it, she'll focus only on the grain of rice that's negativity and not the fucking platter of thing that is positive. You know what I mean? Like, that's what I feel like it was.
Oh man, yeah. That sounds like a handful of work.
Yeah,
like you'll be like walking on eggshells in those type of relationship.
Exactly.
Like anything
but eggshells
you
are made of glass.
Oh yeah, like you'll bleed as well. Fuck.
Yeah, she took him down, dude.
Yeah, so I think I've seen a clip of the Mandarin stuff. And
really?
I think I've seen it like a while ago. I just don't, like it wasn't embedded in my mind.
Yeah.
But I think when I saw it, I was like, he didn't even say that though. Because she's like, are you calling me fat? Are you like saying I'm not like a material ready or something? And I'm like, but he didn't even say it. He didn't even imply it. Like,
even in the moment, she was like, she didn't even look like she was thinking that. But she's obviously gone back to the girls afterwards at some point and been like, would you believe what this motherfucker said? Yeah.
Like, that's just dramatic. It's the people who can't live life just living life.
Exactly.
It's the high school mentality for me.
It is very much high school, like, drama bullshit.
It's
like all these people
high
like,
school,
I'm at the time of my life now that I feel like I'm ready to actually date real people. I'm sick of all this fake Tinder bullshit. da 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 da. I'm falling in love with this person because I get to know them over this whole thing, you know, like it's just intimate. They know me. These people know me now. And then they go back to the pool and they're like, you know, I actually kind of like that other guy a little bit more, and I feel like it's like, oh, maybe I'll like re-propose to this other person, and da da da. It's just,
oh my god,
it's just pure trash entertainment, and I love it.
Reality TV shows, man.
Yeah,
I'm
season
sure the
4.
editing obviously is what, you know.
Oh, the editing is like
painting
a
narrative.
Yeah, it's dog shit editing. As in, like, the editors are really good because they string together this fucking bullshit out of nowhere. Like, there's this guy in season 4.
That's why they're on season 4 now.
Yeah. There's a guy in season 4, and he's like, the story that they're stringing together is like this guy just stares at his girl. It doesn't like, he'll just stare and not blink. But I can tell every time he goes to blink, they've made a cut. They're looking at her, going to cut back to him when he's blinked, and like just made it look like this endless stare.
Yeah.
And she's like, "This is really awkward. You just keep on saying." Oh, I was like, I bet you it's just like a normal length of like blinking, but she blinks like 15 times a second when she's talking. She's like. Just like blinking the whole fucking time. I'm like, how are you fucking seeing when you're talking to someone? Like, just
that's editing, man. The way they try to, you know, make a narrative out of nothing.
Yeah.
That reminds me of, you know, how My Little Mermaid live action is coming out.
Oh yeah.
People are mad that The Little Mermaid is black, right?
Yeah.
I'm not mad about anything. It's a fucking mermaid. It's mythical. Right?
Yeah.
What I'm mad about the production is that she looks wetter on land than she looks wetter in the ocean. Wait.
This makes sense.
I don't like... No. You need to see it. You can tell when she's underwater, in the scenes where she's underwater, she's in a fucking studio.
Okay. But like,
you can tell.
I haven't seen it, but I'm just gonna make up some bullshit of what I think it looks like. All right.
Okay, go ahead, and then I'll send you the picture of it.
I think if you think of a fish, when it's in the water, it doesn't look wet because it is in the water, and the water is meant to like sleek off the fish. But when you take a fish out of water, in the reference frame of air, it is wet because it still has water on it, so it looks wet. But if you look at a fish underwater and you're underwater as well, like you've got fucking goggles, it doesn't look wet. It just looks like a fish in air.
That's the other thing. The fucking fish. The fucking fish reminds me of Sonic before they got bullied. Okay? It's
what do you mean they got, as in like before Sonic got bullied as like into better production value. Yeah.
Okay,
that was crazy.
So this is her supposedly underwater.
Okay, underwater screen. Yep.
I'll send you the picture of the fish as well. That's a fucking fish, right? Dude. That's fucked up.
Oh,
it's not supposed to look like that.
But you know, it's pretty. I don't know, man. It does look a little bit furry, but it's not bad. It's not terrible. It's definitely better than I can do. All right.
Okay,
so this is
on
wet.
her land.
Can you give me a bigger picture?
That's all I got. Like, cause the trailer didn't really give you.
Well,
much.
it's raining or something. She's on the beach. Of course, she's gonna look wet like this.
Well, no, but look at the dry picture. It looks dry as fuck.
She's made of fish scales, dude. I agree
I'm mad.
with the way
I'm
they've done
mad.
this. I agree with the way they've done this. This is where we're no longer friends. All right.
Look at the fucking fish, though. I'm mad about the fucking fish.
All right.
I'm mad about the fish, though.
Of course you are, as a fucking environmental scientist.
Animated. Look at the fucking fish. You can put it on a skewer and eat it.
Yeah. It's realistic. That's good.
No, it's not. It's already about mermaids, right?
But it's live action.
It's already about mermaids.
It's not. This is not Who Framed Roger Rabbit, where there's like live action actors and cartoon characters.
But look at Sonic.
Yeah, Sonic's different.
That's fucking ugly. Right before they got, bullied into changing it. I want people to bully them changing Flounder. I'm mad at this.
You want to gaslight them into making Flounder normal?
You see how Flounder the cartoon has eyebrows?
Oh wait, did you send me a picture of an eyebrow Flounder. Yes,
So it has eyebrows. It has expressions. Look at the fish on the fucking right. There's nose. It looks dead.
Okay, look. They should at least give it eyebrows. I agree with that.
So you see, it's too realistic.
Yeah, I get. Okay, I see where you're coming from. You won't be able to see the animation and like the character come out of it.
Yeah.
It's just a fish whose mouth is going to be moving like
exactly.
I get you.
Okay. So here's like the other side character as well. So Sebastian is a crab.
Yeah, I know who Sebastian is. Under the sea, bro.
And they just did him dirty.
Okay,
that's dirty as
bro,
fuck.
That's hilarious. Wait, is he a crab or is he meant to be a lobster?
He's supposed to be like a lobster crab. More like a crab, I guess. Like.
Oh my god.
Because that's how it's drawn. But look at how bad it is.
Oof, that's a big oof.
Yeah, no, I'm not a fan of how they're doing it.
On the topic of characters that are meant to be not black. Jada Pinkett Smith made a movie about Cleopatra.
Oh yeah, I saw that.
Yeah.
She's not even Egyptian.
She's not. She's Macedonian.
Yeah, and
she's meant to look Greek, dude. She's meant to look super Greek, and they're like, I love how in like the promos of this, they're like, I don't care what people say, Cleopatra's black, and I was like, if you look at history. She was not.
It's like, okay, so you look at Mermaid, right? It's mythical. It's a cartoon. You can make whatever color you can make her skin purple for all I care. But if you're portraying historical stories like that's accurate, you're supposed to put accurate characters in it. Like if you put Black Hitler in it, obviously that's not gonna work, right?
Yo, I love that. I looked at all the Twitter pictures, dude.
The fucking pictures of all those fucking movies.
Black Hitler, fucking white male Rosa Parks.
Rosa Parks with like
Malcolm X.
It's just ridiculous.
It was so good, dude.
Like I do agree with her arguments where there should be more black actors, but
that's a different thing though.
That's a different thing when you're trying to make a movie with historical, like
precedents,
people.
Right? You can't make Julius Caesar.
Yeah.
You can't make Julius Caesar African. That doesn't make sense. You can't make him Indian. You can't make him Thai.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
It doesn't make any sense.
It's like going to a history book and go, I'm gonna add Winnie the Pooh in here and just say that's a real story. Like it's it's real. It's not fictional.
Yeah. They just I don't know. I just think it feels a little bit like we had a period within like Hollywood and animation and everything where they like referred to everything as being like whitewashed, right?
Yeah.
Where it's like there was no representation. But it does feel like sometimes now they're like, it's in the era of blackwashing things where just for the sake of like what they call diversity, which it doesn't feel like true diversity and representation. It just feels like they want to inject like any like, you know, a minority race into this this like existing character or person or whatever.
Yeah.
So that they can say, oh yeah, we're being diverse.
It's
and
like
blah, blah,
if
blah.
they really want to be diverse, instead of replacing characters or remakes with black, actors and actresses, why don't you just make characters that are black?
Exactly.
You know, like you're not gonna change Princess and the Frog into a white person.
No.
Right? And it's just like if you want more black characters, make more black characters like Princess and the Frog. Like they're like actual characters. They're not just replacing someone that's been there.
Yeah.
You know, they're making someone else new that other people can look up to.
Yeah, I think when you co-opt something that's already existing, it just feels like real fake and Hollywood and like
it's like
played out,
when the school is trying to promote their diversity, they pick out all like the 5 diverse kids and just push them all in the picture.
Yeah, they're in the picture and you're like, oh yeah, I came to the school and I thought there was like an Indian and an Asian kid and an Islander kid and everything in every class, and you're like, there's only those 5 motherfuckers in the school.
In the whole fucking school. Yeah, that's what they do.
Far out. But you're right though. It's exactly kind of what it is. It's just like
Yeah.
they're putting up poster childs for diversity, and then, but it's not actually diverse.
Yeah.
I I also saw like, we have friends that are streamers and stuff as well, right?
Yeah.
And I saw this kind of interesting thing that popped up this week. So you know who Amouranth is, right?
Oh, she got banned.
Did she get banned this week?
Yeah, she got banned.
For what?
I don't know. I only saw the headlines. I didn't look into it, actually.
Of course you did.
I just saw it in passing.
It's not like we have a podcast where we have to talk about current topics or anything.
I know. Fuck. But yeah, I think it was
Do your fucking job, dude.
It was posted today or yesterday that she got banned.
Well, here's the thing. So, do you know who Adriana Chechik is?
I think I've heard.
So she's also a streamer, but previously she was a prawn star. You know what I mean? And so, but she's like kind of moved into the streaming space quite a bit. But she was like calling out Amouranth this week for kind of like simp baiting people. Because you know how in the like it was like sometime either earlier this year or like late last year, there's all the drama about like her having an abusive husband, and she was like under his control, and all of her money was controlled by him. She had no freedom. She would make he would make her stream, and then there's like this big famous clip of like, oh, I don't have to wear cleavage on camera anymore if I don't want to. Dobby's free type of thing, right? But then like all of her content since it's just been the same thing. Like it's just
okay. So here we go. So she got banned like 20 hours ago.
Ooh, okay.
I think. No, this article was like, so she got banned 24 hours ago. She got banned from her Instagram, Twitch, and TikTok.
Oh.
They didn't say why, but then 24 hours later, she got unbanned. So it's been lifted.
But across 3 different platforms? That's crazy.
So the company states Twitch enforces against certain severe offenses that occur off Twitch when committed by members of the Twitch community.
Yeah.
Up to an indefinite suspension on the first offense or some behaviors. But she got unbanned anyways.
I think it's just interesting like seeing Adriana Chechik like kind of call her out. And I don't know what to really think of it because like if you look at like the footage of like the abusive husband on the phone, like chewing her out and her crying on stream type of thing, and him threatening to like kill her dogs or something was like, that was full on. So if that's actually what's happening.
I don't get the call out because she was in a controlling relationship before. Now she can do what she wants, even if that's like being doing.
No, but she's back together with her husband.
Oh, she's.
Yeah. And she's back to streaming and all this other stuff. And it's like, is it beaten wife syndrome type of thing? Or is it like, was that whole thing
Beauty
just
and the
like,
Beast situation?
Yeah. Or is it actually like, Marketing, yeah. Because she's a marketing genius, right? But
I mean, look at Belle Delphine from Marketing Genius, man.
Yeah. Well, she's, she's up there as well. But same thing, it's kind of just like, it's just preying on people's like sympathies type of thing. So like, is it a case of
I hope it's not fake.
Yo, if it was fake.
Because if it's fake, that's making fun of the people who are actually going through it.
Exactly.
And that's not a good situation to be in.
But also, if you're fake, like, that's crazy to like, that's like almost like faking a death in a way. Because, like, I know it's like faking a disability almost. You know how like you had all those TikTokers a while ago?
Oh yeah.
Who were like faking having Tourette's and shit.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's like kind of faking like that kind of disability, where now people are like, oh, they're signing up to your thing because they feel sorry for you, but like if it's not actually happening, that's dirty, man. It's real skeevy, like to me. Versus like, okay, it was actually happening. She's just in a still abusive relationship. She just doesn't know how to like pull herself away type of thing.
Yeah.
That's different. Yeah. I don't know. All right. What's your topic of this week, or your first topic from you?
I have a couple things about kids, right?
Oh, okay.
But not bad, obviously. But I need to find the clip for it first. So,
all right, sweet. All right. What have we got here?
I seriously think that these kids don't really know how to play outside. I think whoever their guardian is like, go play outside, and this is what they do.
What?
It's so strange.
What? You know what this feels like?
It feels like a dystopian movie.
It feels like we're watching real life Sims. It feels like we're watching real life Sims. That was so weird.
So, right. So, you know how, like, you know, obviously, even though we have, like, this huge age gap between us, right?
Yeah, you would do.
I still grew up playing with mud.
Yeah, no, we learned that last week.
I know. Yeah. Anyways,
not just mud, apparently.
Anyways, like, I still grew up playing with, like, barely played with any technology. I think I was around year 8, like grade 8, grade 7, grade 6 actually. Grade 6 was when technology was starting to become very embedded in my life.
Oh, yeah, it's about the same for me, actually, yeah.
So yeah, like grade 6, right? I would get like my BlackBerry and that would have games on it.
Of course you had a BlackBerry.
Of
course you had a BlackBerry.
You could access Facebook with it too. And then later on, iPads, iPods, and then, I don't know. It keeps going, right? So anyways, I still grew up playing outside, right? Mm-hmm. I pretend to be riding a horse. I pretend to actually have, like, imaginary friends going on. Yeah. And so seeing that video, it just got me like, fuck. Like,
wait. Okay, on the topic of imaginary friends.
Okay.
I need to know if this is this will tell us how similar we are. Were you ever the type of kid when you're in the back passenger seat of a car and you're looking out the window? Did you ever imagine the little man running along the lines in the buildings?
Yeah.
You did? Yeah. Okay. Yeah. We're on the same page then.
Oh
that was my imaginary friend. This dude was doing all kinds of shit. He was slingshotting off like man, he would use a light pole to slingshot to the next light pole. He wasn't Spider-Man.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It was just like every building, everything. And this guy was as fast as the car as he was going. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it was.
Yeah, he was just running.
And like, I think, okay, look, this is what I think. I think it's an introvert thing. Like, you and I are similar in the fact that we're like mostly introverted, sometimes extroverted, right?
Yeah.
I think that thing is an inherently introvert thing because you're in your head and you're like creating this reality thing. Because I know other people who are introverts who have the same person, but no one ever told me about that imaginary guy.
Is that why some people think with colors and some people just think in black and white?
People think in black and white?
Yeah, there's some people who can't see colors when they close their eyes.
But even, like, they're not colorblind. They just can't see.
No, they just don't see colors.
Oh, okay.
When you close your eyes and you go blue, do you see blue?
Here's my question then.
You know.
Another question. When you talk to yourself in your head, do you hear a voice or is it just a thought?
I hear a voice. I actually have conversations with my mind.
Yeah, me too. It's like in a certain cadence.
Yeah.
Here's what I know. Like, people are like, that's bullshit. I was like, no, I know I do this because I have caught me feeling my throat acting as if I'm talking. Like, I can feel my throat going through the motions of talking to myself sometimes. And I'm just like, I'm actually psychotic. Like, I'm actually crazy right now.
Mine's not the throat thing. Mine's like the breathing.
Oh, yeah. Something physically changes.
Yeah. It's weird, man. It's weird.
Like, there's just some things that I think, I don't know if it's in ADHD, autistic, or like introvert, extrovert, whatever it is. But like, there's
someone do a research on it.
Yeah, someone tell me in the comments.
Someone go do a research on
it. Yeah. No, don't do research. Just tell me. Just tell me your opinion, unfounded. That's all I want to know. All right.
You're fucking autistic. Dude.
Yeah, exactly.
I hope your mom tells you that.
No, I definitely hit some of those traits as a kid, dude.
Bro, I'm pretty sure everyone's on the spectrum somewhere.
Well, it's called a spectrum for a reason, but you know, part of the spectrum also means 0.
I mean, 0.1.
Here's the other thing, like,
still something.
On the topic of things being for introverts and extroverts.
Yeah.
I feel like podcasting is an inherently introverted thing. And here's what I mean. If you're a podcast listener, it is so natural for you to be the third person in a room and just listening to two other people talk about a subject.
True.
That like, I mean, for a podcast like this,
because you're not really talking to them.
You're just listening. You're just on the receiving end, and you're just like, oh, I just want to know what these two people's opinion about, and you just like chill with like not having any input. You just want to know what they think about, and I just think like there's just some things that end up being an inherently introvert thing, whereas you have like, then you've got
see that.
That's for these types of podcasts, but then you've got the podcasts that are like all the history story things. Those are different because that's more like pure entertainment. You're almost like watching a movie, but this is not. This is you're the third person in a seat of three, and you're just like listening to.
It's like that meme. It's like one in 3 people are gay. It's not me. It's not you. Then you look at the camera. It's like
bitch.
It reminds me of that meme.
Oh, okay. So I want to introduce you to some just peak Australian political culture, and because we're already in the react part, we might as well do it. So give me 1 second. So this is a guy named Bob Catter. As far as I know, he is
politician.
He is like a politician, and it's just. I just want to see how you react to this. Okay.
I've seen it before.
Well, you've seen this?
Yeah.
To the sexual proclivities. You know, I mean, let there be 1,000 blossoms bloom as far as I'm concerned. You know, but I ain't spending any time on it because in the meantime, every 3 months, a person was torn to pieces by a crocodile in North Queensland. So...
Yo, that switch up is next level, dude.
I mean, to be fair, talk about priorities, right?
Yeah, 100%.
He could not care less if how many, people coming out of the closet, but he cares more about the lives lost by the crocodiles.
I get it. I 100% get it. But I've never seen someone switch up so hard, so fast. Because he was in this fucking jolly ass mood. Like, who the fuck cares? Most people, they'll either be like, who the fuck cares? There's bigger problems, still smiling. Or the whole time raging like, why the fuck do you people care about this shit? There's people dying from crocodiles in North Queensland. You know what I mean? Like, it's just... But it just went from like his literal nose turned into an arrow. It went from 0 to
like 100.
Yeah, like his fucking face shape changed dramatically.
Look. But I ain't spending any time.
Oh my god. The way his eyebrows scrunched.
It's fucking gold, dude.
It's great.
Oh my god.
I love it.
It's probably one of my favorite bits of like Australian politics. I'm just gonna quickly get back to normal screens. All right. Oh my god. Yeah, we back.
Talking about Australians, right? Because I'm not from here.
Oh, you don't say.
I didn't grow up here as well, right? You did. You went to school here and everything. Yeah. But you live in a bilingual, trilingual house.
Bilingual, right? Yeah.
Bilingual house. So, but technically, most Australians...
Do you count, like, different dialects as different languages? No.
I mean, technically, kind of, because...
Oh, my mom speaks, like, 6 different dialects of Hindi, so...
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, I know.
Anyways, but you know where I'm coming from, right? It's like... I know that... Speaking with my partner, I know that Australian schools do provide students with the option to learn another language or 2.
Yeah. Right?
But why is it that there's barely any Australians actually knowing a third or second language?
Well,
second language, like, actually.
Most kids in primary school are made to take a language. Usually the other language is Japanese. Mm-hmm. But then when you get into high school... Because you start picking your subjects, you no longer have like the forced take a subject thing. You have to pick it. And depending on your school, like a lot of public schools don't have like the resources to have like a Spanish teacher who's actually a good Spanish teacher and da da da. Like it's very normal in America to have like Spanish as the thing, and kids go through 12 years of schooling and not learn any fucking Spanish.
That's true.
Even though they took Spanish the whole time.
That's true.
Like,
I guess it's different for me just because all the schools I've been to was private, and they provide at least 5 different languages.
But what other languages do you know?
But they do force you to take language classes, at least 1 or 2.
What language did you take?
I took Spanish.
How much Spanish do you
before.
know?
Not a lot, because
Exactly.
I cheated in my class. No, but that's the
Exactly.
thing. Because in Thailand, Thai citizens are forced to take Thai classes. So
Yeah.
I always grew up taking both Thai and English.
No, yeah, we are forced to also take English as a class in Australia.
Yeah, but
It
you're
makes
not
sense.
forced to take another class as well. Like
Yeah, but you
even
went to
in
an
high
international school. That's different.
So that's why I'm saying, like, Australians or like most Caucasian people also have the idea in their mind that saying if you're from another country, you don't learn English, or there's no English classes, or they don't teach English or whatever. Because when I talk to some people, I've actually in Australia, right?
Yeah.
Someone actually came up to me, "Oh, your English is so good. Like, where did you learn it?" I'm like, I'm a half, first of all. Second, I went to an
Look,
English spoken
You might
school.
be a half, but you look a little bit more Thai.
Yeah, no, but that's fine. But
Yeah.
you don't just assume someone's supposed to be incompetent in another language just because of what they look like.
It depends, man. Like,
it's a percentage of ignorance that person has. Saying that to another person,
I don't know.
I feel.
I don't know if it's necessarily a malicious thing. I
It's
think
not.
it's just
It's not bad at all. But it's just like you should, in this day and age, you shouldn't really say that in a way that you didn't expect someone
Look,
to not speak it at all.
Here's the thing. I'm gonna ask you a question. Is it only because this person was white?
Oh, it's a couple. Yeah.
Yeah, but like these people, is it only
Yeah.
because they're white that you feel like it was like a negative thing that might be like slightly racist or whatever, right? Because here's the thing, as like non-Caucasian people or like people of color or whatever you want to call it, fucking whatever label, we have some little privileges that we can do that like white people can't do, because we're not assumed to be racist when we say it. Like, I could ask you, hey, what kind of Asian are you? And you'd be like,
no, but that goes to another type of question. It's like, where did you come from? I'm from Tennessee. No, but where did you actually come from? You hear those type of questions all the time. But instead, it's the way they ask, right? If you say, what's your ethnicity? What's your nationality? What passport do you hold? That would answer most of the question you want to hear. And it's not even...
those are definitely better questions. I
It's-
agree.
It's
But-
not offensive to say those things at all, but the way you say the question can really make someone feel like shit too.
This is what I think is part of the problem. Like, as people who like were first generation, you're actually like, you're not first generation born. You're like the first immigrated, I guess, of your family, right? But like, as first generation people, like we tend to identify as like nationally whatever country you're born in, Australian for me, and then like culturally whatever your family is, so Fijian, Indian,
Like,
for me, right?
if people ask,
But-
I'll say I'm Thai.
Yeah, but here's the thing. Like, I think when you get a few generations in, it's difficult because if you're from like a very Caucasian, like the amount that you lose from like generation to generation in terms of how much you tie back to like, the migrated family, like we've lost so much between just like my parents and me in just language alone.
Yeah.
So like 3
that's-
generations
yeah.
down, there's not going to be that much.
Like absolutely.
yeah.
No, but I'm just talking about the fact that some people ask.
No. Okay, I'm
Slightly
saying it ties
offensive
back
things.
to this.
Yeah.
Is like, I think when you're like, say, Caucasian in a country like America or Australia, you're just seen as like white, but you don't identify as, hey, I'm an Irish English white person or Irish English Australian. Like, we don't have that. I'm not Fijian Indian Australian. That's kind of like what people will see me as and how I identify as, because I'm like a mix of cultures, and it's just blatantly obvious because I have a different skin tone. But like I think it's a slightly negative thing, but like white people have whitewashed themselves in terms of like, oh yeah, I'm just a white person, right? But they don't actually get to appreciate like I'm a Scottish Irish person whose family came to Australia, or I'm a Dutch Scottish person. You know, like there's so much more culture there, but because there's so many generations away from when they migrated, they just don't have that tie to it. So no one asked them because they're like, oh, you just. But if they had a slight accent, like you and I both have an accent, right? As much as like mine's fairly Australian, there's some things in there that hint that it's not. You definitely have a Thai accent. Okay?
Yeah, of course, because I grew up there. Yeah.
So they have like if they just heard you over Discord, and they didn't see your face, they'd be like, "You're obviously not just Australian. So what else are you?" Right? So they've just gone off the contextual information that you're giving them, which part of it is your accent.
Yeah,
if someone who came up to you was white, and they were just white, but they had a bit of an accent or something else, would you say, hey, where are you from? And they go, I'm Australian. And you go, oh, yeah, that's it. Or would you be like, no, but like, what else is there? Because like, you obviously have an accent or something. Like, do you ask the follow-up question?
Not really. No, not for me.
How can you not ask the follow-up question?
I don't know. I just go, oh, okay, cool. Moving on.
Yeah, see, that's me. I would be like, nah, I hear something else. What is it? Like, and they'll be like, oh, yeah, my grandmother was South African, so I have a bit of a South African accent.
Yeah. So, like, the questions, like, you ask is fine. I'm not talking about just, like, the people who asked me were American or whatnot. There were some, like, Europeans as well. But, the question they were asking was, like, your English is really good. I know that they're coming from a, like, not a malicious place where it's like, your English is really good. Like, I'm impressed, right? But then I'm like, okay, like...
I think this is your privilege coming out and you don't understand it. You went to an international school that taught English properly as a second language.
Yeah,
right?
No, but I'm coming to the point where I'm saying, you know, why do people not realize that English is also taught as a second language in a lot of Southeast Asian countries? Some people don't know that at all. You don't even need to be there. You know,
well, like, not even been there, but like Australia has a similar issue to America to a degree, where like, you know, America and their history is like all America history. Australia is like world history, but it's obviously very Australian focused. But like when it comes to like the surrounding countries of like Fiji, New Zealand, you know, Singapore, Malaysia, Indonesia, all that, no one fucking teaches anything about that. Like in the Australian curriculum, you're told American history, Russian, German, Japanese, Chinese. That's like
the generic
the wars.
history.
You're told about the wars.
Yeah, the generic history. Yeah, I was taught that as well.
Yeah, the only thing you know about Vietnam is that there was a fucking war there, dude. Like the things you learn about the people and their culture is from the people themselves. Yes. So they're not gonna know that, like.
You see, so this ties back to my first question of why don't people teach more language? But then that's obviously the funding and everything.
Yeah, but do you even have time? Like, would you have time in school to learn another
language? If the school's curriculum says you need to learn English and one extra language, doesn't matter what language. If you learn one extra language, then, you know, it could expose people to more culture than just the one they grew up in. It's like being closed off to other countries and cultures that turns them ignorant towards other people.
Yeah, I get that.
Do you see where I'm coming from?
I think it's just a matter of resources. There's just, in a lot of Australian schools or wherever else, they just don't have the resource to properly teach those languages. And so people assume that it's the same in other other countries, especially if you come from what people consider like a developing nation, like Thailand.
Yeah.
Right? All right. The last thing I want to talk about
Bro fist! Sorry.
The last thing I want to talk about for this episode before we go into the Patreon section is America. I've seen a lot of TikToks on this, but also like articles. Is 4 weeks away from hitting the debt ceiling.
What?
So the debt ceiling is like every country borrows money, right?
Yeah.
And America borrows money all the time because like they spend more than they collect from tax dollars, right? So at the moment, they're roughly 4 weeks away before they hit the ceiling of like their debt that the government has like said is an acceptable amount of debt. Now, historically,
They've
every
gone
time
over
they
it before.
no historically, oh well, yeah, technically, but every time they hit the debt ceiling, they like raise the amount that they're allowed to borrow, and then they'll just eventually like creep back.
Yeah.
So they've just
It's
done
like
that
it's
for,
like it's like us going. I'll only allow myself one biscuit, and then you
Exactly.
go back for 2 or 3 more.
And like I always tell myself that I could actually have 3. I just wanted to tell you guys I could only have 1.
Yeah.
That's kind of what it is like, right?
Mm-hmm.
Where they're getting to this point where they're going to hit the debt ceiling, and now they have to make a ruling on whether they're going to increase the debt ceiling again, or if they're going to have to like make some major changes and cuts to start saving money and like bring
Yeah.
down the debt that they actually have. Because if they don't bring down the debt, obviously they might default on their loans.
Sell the
to-
submarines.
Sell the submarines, 100%. But this is America, so I don't know if that
Yeah.
counts. But yeah, so like they have had this proposal that's been put to the government to like cut all these like costs to try and reduce the debt. But that's like cutting support for veterans, healthcare cuts, education cuts, like civil cuts, like all these things. And people like
Education cuts, like people
They're
are
already
still
fucked.
paying for education. What?
I know, like I
They
just
need to get their shit together, bro.
here's the thing though: if they default on their loan, on their debt, which is like the first time it's ever happened in history, the American economy is going to like most likely go into like a very long recession, and also the Australian American dollar will crash, which is bad for us over here in Australia because we're very dependent on the American dollar. So,
Also, isn't it already kind of going bad with the banks recently going
so I
bankrupt?
think that was like one thing, but like that's kind of like on a bank to bank level.
Yeah.
Which is bad. It does affect it nationally depending on the size of the bank.
And I don't think they're talking or trying, they're not advertising. Actually, not advertise. What's the word? They're not telling people in the news about the Russia, China, and Istanbul.
No, Russia,
think-
China, Brazil, India, and now
Yeah.
South Africa agreeing to use the Chinese.
the Chinese,
yuan.
yeah.
Yeah, well, I think it is somewhat in finance news, but it's not really mainstream news. Whether that's like something that will affect the American dollar and the strength of Australia, like all that kind of stuff, in the next 10 years is like it's hard to say, right? Because like a lot of those countries
Yeah.
are still like like Russia's in turmoil, like China is kind of trying to figure out how to do things properly, like. South Africa.
Things are just
I don't
not
know.
going well right now.
Yeah.
Let's just say.
But I just think
But one good thing about U.S. dollars and Australian dollars is that if you do currency exchange now from U.S.
yeah.
dollars to Australian dollars,
you'll
you
get so much more back.
You
Yeah.
get so much more back. Just so you know.
So wait, you would have to buy.
So let's say it's 0.6867 dollars right now.
That we would get US,
Yeah.
and then if it goes less strong,
So
then
like
we'll get more back.
I kind of looked, right. So $1 you would get 1.73 Australian dollars back.
Right.
I think. I don't remember the
I
exact
don't think
number.
that's the right amount, but yeah.
But like I looked at the exchange
Mm.
for $500, you'd get 770
Yeah,
Australian
right. Okay,
dollars
yeah.
back. So you get more.
It's not 1.57,
Right.
but it's
Yeah,
1.3.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't remember the exact number.
Yeah.
But that was
Uh,
the amount. So, anyways, that's a disclaimer, not
financial advice.
Yeah,
Yeah, we should just have a section just called "Not Financial Advice."
not financial advice.
I would love for us to do just like a standalone review video of just going through finance TikTok and seeing what kind of shit they come up with, especially like finance bro TikTok. You know what?
Yeah.
Everyone's like, all you need to do is start a drop shipping Shopify store and get your
It's
shit from
like
Alibaba.
if you get it from if you did that from the start, maybe you'll be okay now. But obviously
Yeah.
doing it late isn't helping.
Yeah, no,
It's
because
like
everyone
a
kind of
Redbubble store.
everyone. Yeah, imagine who would do such a thing.
Who the fuck
nowadays.
would start that
Who would
now,
have a
right?
Redbubble store right now? Honestly. Anyways, I just think it's one of those things. You know what we should do? We should make merch. We should make merch and put it
On
on
Redbubble.
Yep.
We barely even get anything back from
We may
Redbubble.
get a sale. We may get a sale.
Go buy my Burger Kitty stickers.
Yes, do that. Support the pod. Get a sticker out of it. Who knows? I think it's just an interesting thing that like America's at this very particular point, which will like dictate how like the next 10 years goes. I think.
Yeah.
We yet to see because both sides of the government have to agree on like a financial tactic on how to deal with this debt, and they're not great at doing that. So,
nah,
we'll see how it goes.
We'll see. We'll see.
We'll see in 4 weeks' time when we make another episode whether America's dollar has dropped or risen.
Oh my god.
Here, I'm gonna
That's
post.
That's gonna be bad for some
account.
people. Yeah.
This is I'm gonna put somewhere here. I'm gonna put it somewhere on the video. The current value of the American dollar and Australian dollar,
and the date with it as well.
And the date, and then
in 4 weeks, let's see.
In 4 weeks, we're gonna see it.
Yeah,
put your bets in. All right, in the chat, put your bets in.
Put your bets in.
All right. I think I'm fucking done for the day.
Yeah, I think that's it.
This is a nice long episode. Thank you everyone for listening or watching or whatever you're doing. If you have liked the content, please like and subscribe. Share it with your friends. Watch our shorts because they're not getting any views.
We also have Patreon.
And we have a Patreon linked in the description below. You will get an extra 30 minutes of content, or maybe an hour. I don't know how long that extra. You get an extra segment at least every week. A
couple.
And yeah, it'll be at least a couple segments. Every week.
Depending on what we fucking talk about.
And so just go find us over there. Support us if you can. Don't do it if you can't afford it, but if you can, it's much appreciated. Otherwise, we'll see you in the next week. Peace.